Why is Russia so big? The shocking truth behind its massive size. Hello everyone. The largest country on Earth. Russia, the land of extremes, stretching across 11 time zones and covering more than 17 million square kilometers. It is so enormous that if you placed it on the moon, it would cover nearly the entire surface. To put its size into perspective, Russia is larger than the entire surface area of Pluto. If it were a separate planet, it would rank as the 8th largest in the solar system. The sheer scale of the country is mind-blowing. Imagine waking up in Moscow to a bright sunrise while, on the opposite end of the country in Vladivostok, the sky is pitch black. It's midnight there, despite both cities being in the same country. Traveling across Russia is an adventure in itself. The Trans-Siberian Railway, the longest continuous railway line in the world, takes more than a week to traverse the entire country. But how did Russia come to be this vast? Was it pure luck? A product of military conquest? Or something even stranger? The origins of Russia's expansion. To understand why Russia is so big, we need to step back in time to the 15th century. At that point, Russia wasn't even close to being the massive land it is today. It started as a small medieval state called Muscovy, centered around the city of Moscow. Muscovy was surrounded by powerful neighbors, the Mongol Empire to the east, various European kingdoms to the west, and smaller tribal groups to the north and south. However, something unexpected happened. The once mighty Mongol Empire began to collapse. As Mongol influence faded, Muscovy seized the opportunity to expand its territory, taking over land that had once been under Mongol rule. This was just the beginning. Over the next few centuries, Russia engaged in a relentless campaign of territorial expansion. It didn't have many natural barriers like mountains or large bodies of water to protect its borders, so it had two choices: expand or be invaded. Russian rulers, particularly Ivan the Terrible and Peter the Great, saw expansion as a necessity. They pushed further eastward, westward, and southward, incorporating vast stretches of land into their growing empire. The role of Siberia in Russia's size. One of the biggest reasons for Russia's massive land area is Siberia, a vast, frozen wilderness that makes up about 77% of the country. Siberia is one of the most extreme and inhospitable places on Earth, with temperatures in some regions plunging below -60 degrees Celsius in winter. No other empire wanted this frozen expanse, but Russia took it anyway. Why? Because land meant power. Even though much of Siberia was uninhabitable, controlling such a massive landmass gave Russia strategic advantages. It provided resources, military positioning, and an extra layer of security from potential invaders. Expansion into Siberia was largely driven by legendary warrior explorers known as Cossacks. These fiercely independent soldiers helped Russia push its borders eastward all the way to the Pacific Ocean. By the time Russia reached the Pacific in the late 17th century, it had become the largest continuous land empire in history. How fast did Russia expand? Russia didn't become a massive empire overnight, it grew at an astonishing rate. Between 1500 and 1900, Russia expanded at an average of 50,000 square kilometers per year. To put that into perspective, that's like adding the entire land area of Costa Rica to its territory every single year for 400 years. No other empire in history expanded so rapidly over such a long period. Could Russia have been even bigger? Believe it or not, Russia could have been even larger than it is today. At one point, Russia owned Alaska, which it later sold to the United States for just $7.2 million in 1867. At the time, it seemed like a logical decision. Alaska was too far away and difficult to govern. But if Russia had held onto it, the country would have had direct territory in North America, making it an even greater global powerhouse. Even more surprisingly, Russia once attempted to colonize parts of California. In the early 1800s, Russian settlers established a small colony near present-day San Francisco. Had Russia been more aggressive in its expansion, We might be living in a world where Russian territory extended from Europe, across Asia, and into North America. The pros and cons of Russia's size. Being the biggest country in the world comes with both benefits and drawbacks. Advantages of Russia's size. Russia possesses some of the world's largest reserves of oil, natural gas, gold, and diamonds, making it a resource-rich superpower. Its strategic position between Europe and Asia gives it enormous economic and political influence. Its vast landmass provides a natural buffer against invasions, making it difficult for foreign powers to conquer. Challenges of Russia's size. Governing such an enormous country is extremely difficult. Infrastructure, transportation, and communication across 11 time zones require immense logistical efforts. The extreme weather makes some parts of Russia nearly impossible to live in, limiting agricultural and industrial development. The country's massive size means that resources and population are spread thinly across a vast area, making national unity and development a constant challenge. The final verdict: why is Russia so big? So, why did Russia become the largest country in the world? It wasn't just luck. It was a combination of strategic expansion, geographical necessity, and historical circumstances. With no natural borders to protect it, Russia had to keep growing or risk being invaded. With no competitors for the frozen land of Siberia, it took control of what no one else wanted. And with rulers who saw expansion as a way to strengthen their empire, Russia continued to push its boundaries until there was nowhere left to expand. Today, Russia remains the largest country on Earth, a land of vast landscapes, extreme climates, and untold resources. But its sheer size is both a blessing and a burden. It has given Russia power, security, and influence, but it has also made governance, development, and unity a constant challenge. Whether it is an advantage or a disadvantage, one thing is certain: Russia's size makes it one of the most fascinating nations in history. If you found this journey through Russia's expansion fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the mysteries of our world, only on Brainwave.